After hearing Terry's critique of the work done in the Napa Photographic Society, Rick and I decided to go ahead and take him up on the workshop in Lassen. We were really pleased that we did. We drove north on 5 until we saw the signs for the Lassen Volcanic National Park and then headed into the park. After the first evening's lecture series, we came out and saw the sun was just beginning to set, and we were able to get some pretty good shots of Table Mountain. And then, as always, you turn around. Many times the view is directly behind you. The next morning, we met at 7 with the intention of wandering around Lake Manzanita, and were able to catch some of these early morning shots of both the sunrise and the geese. The purpose of this workshop was to learn from Terry some of the tricks of special effects and composition. Sometimes chaos can be just plain chaos, and other times it can be interesting and artistic. It's up to the viewer to make that decision. This creek both feeds and drains Lake Manzanita. One of the most beautiful features of Lassen Volcanic National Park is Manzanita Lake. Manzanita Lake is surrounded by dense forests of willow, mountain alder, Jeffrey pine, white fir, and lodgepole pine. Notice some of the spectacular and beautiful photographic opportunities that arose as we walked around this lake. This lake is used for recreational purposes such as kayaking and fly fishing on a catch and release basis. It's a much used and very spectacular lake. This image was set up and taken remotely by Terry. Notice the trees on either side frame us and the mountain in the far ground. Leave it to Terry to set it up right. The next morning, after everyone had left, Rick and I decided to go home by way of the southern route and stop and make a number of images using the new techniques that Terry had just taught us. Notice the dead stump on the right draws your eye up the picture, and the ridges follow and continue to draw you even more up and out. It's hard to resist shooting panoramas in country as beautiful as this. Clear, sharp foreground and mottled background is a good example of bokeh. After we passed over the summit and worked our way down, we eventually found the parking place for Bumpus Hell Walk. In 1864, Candle Bumpus filed a mining claim and intended to develop the area into a tourist attraction. One day, while walking in the area, Bumpus fell through the thin crust of earth into a mud pot, severely burning his leg and eventually losing it. His dream never materialized. The hike is 3 miles out and back, gaining about 500 feet early and then losing 250 feet as you descend into Bumpus Basin. It's a 16-acre basin and features 75 fumaroles, hot springs, and mud pots in the shadow of Bumpus Mountain, which is a dome volcano. What sounds like a jet engine is the Big Boiler, the hottest fumarole in a non-erupting volcano in the world.